what? If you knock me down, I'ma get on up. Top speed when you hit the ground, just get on up when you get knocked down. Gotta jump right in, no matter what. If you knock me down, I'ma get on up.
The Baja 1000 this year is the highlight of what I've done so far. Being the 50th anniversary, being the Peninsula run, going down with such an awesome team and an awesome crew, going down and racing and representing Monster Energy and Can-Am, it was definitely so far the highlight of my racing career. Things moved pretty quickly from there. It was, before we knew it, we were literally on the starting line, ready to go.
When you hit the ground, just get on up. When you get knocked down.
Got on the 37-mile-an-hour section wheel. All of a sudden, we're at 37, and I'm slowly catching the guy in front of us, and he's doing 35 maybe, and so we're getting closer, and we're getting closer, and we're getting closer, and I'm like, shoot, we're doing 37, and we're not speeding, so we went ahead and made our first pass in the speed zone. So we thought, this is starting to work out pretty well. I think we passed 2, 3, 4 guys, so we were really doing well.
Now it's just a waiting game. We're gonna go get some dinner. Try to calm our nerves, relax a little bit, wait on the car, and then race, boy. Baja 1000, 2017, yeah!
From the sound.
Sandwich making.
It's so sexy. Like gross sandwich.
Dude, this is organic.
All of a sudden the steering wheel's moving and the car's not steering. And I told the car driver, hey Dan, I got no steering. Luckily it was in kind of a slow speed section and the car went left. And we went down into a ravine and up through a bush. And look, and the steering shaft at the knuckle had actually broken. Luckily for us, we were able to find the other piece of the shaft that had broken, and we were able to hose clamp it back on. We had every part you could imagine on the car in our chase truck except for that single part. So I didn't know what we were going to do. At that point it was just, hey, let's try to get out of the desert and figure out what we're going to do.
Can the jump right in, no matter what. If you knock me down, I'ma get on up. Top speed when you hit the ground, just get on up when you get knocked down.
Just a good old-fashioned schoolyard jump rope battle. And they've been over there practicing since Quentin beat them. Now he's over here calling Quentin out again and just smoked Quentin. Bro, you jump like you got cinder blocks for shoes.
I know. Who, me?
Yeah.
I had to jump high because they were shorting me on the rope.
So you're better than
You didn't give me no pointers. You just shot me down.
that way. You look like shit.
Celeste, because of the fire, she had been in contact with the Murrays and we're getting their guy to the hospital, so they're back and forth. Well, then she communicated to some of the guys on their team what had happened and what we had broke, and they said, look, they had a guy coming back to the hospital in San Felipe with their X3 pre-runner, and they said, look, grab the shaft when it gets there. Awesome, that's great. So we actually drove from where we had broken the desert, we drove to the hospital. stuck the steering shaft on the car, and he jumped back in the car, and we raced all the way back out to mile 168, which is where we jumped off the course before to get into San Felipe. So from the time we broke to the time we got back to that spot, it was about 6 hours.
Cacahuta.
Cacahuate.
From the south.
Whatever. They're like at two.
I stole parts off.
It was racing at 100%, so we pushed as hard as we could to make it to checkpoint 1, and we made it with, I think, about 20 minutes to spare.
What?
You got 35 minutes to get there.
You have an hour and 15 to get to the checkpoint.
Okay, pull it off. Thanks, guys.
Clear! Alright, clear! Oh! Get gas! Remember, you're going, the only next bit you can go to is 5.
Jakey Boo.
Oh, we're getting so close.
Jakey Boo.
We got to Cain, I think, in Bay of LA, roughly 4:30 in the morning, something like that.
No matter what, if you knock me down, I'ma get on up. Top speed when you hit the ground, just get on up when you get knocked down.
How do you feel?
It's been a long day, but do I look okay?
Top speed when you hit the ground, just get on up when you get knocked down.
We found a drop spot, man. This is where we're gonna get in the car. So it's middle of nowhere, Baja, Mexico. There's some race cars coming by. We can see them creeping through. They did really well through the night, man. They got the car fixed going. I mean, they got the car going. They're ripping. Said the car's in good shape, so I guess I know what our job is when it gets to us. They're chasing a big pack of UTVs, getting to here, not far behind them. So I guess the hunt begins when I get in the car. Do what they brought me to do. Boom!
I can find my way through the trees. So don't wait, for me.
You darn near came all this way for nothing.
No, we didn't.
Almost.
He told me we was gonna finish. So Matt Burroughs and guys just showed up. They had a long night, but they're bringing the car to us, so they're not far out. We're putting fire suits on. He said take the car to finish, take care of it, easy, and just make it to the finish line. So now my job begins. And then
Send it.
And then, I mean, you already know I'm gonna send it.
Dustin's a good driver, and he does listen to me. If I tell him to check up, he checks up. So, we're both of the same mindset. At this point, it's just about finishing the race and get around as many people as we can.
Burn ahead.
Look out, coming hot.
Wait, to get home. I don't know my way back home, the life road.
Looking awesome. We got a little bit of a slow start, but I think we're starting to catch back up. Long way to go too. I think we still have a chance. Dustin's gonna kick ass, I'm sure.
I don't know, I'm out on my own. Back home. So if you're looking for
Well, I just got out of doing the middle section of the Baja 1000, 430 miles, 7.5 hours. Started in Bay of LA, came here to just below Loretto, or above Loretto. Car worked great. Matt unfortunately had to work on it a little bit this morning and put us back a little bit, but it worked flawless for me. I had one puncture, didn't really lose any time, but it was fun. It was a good experience. It was rough. It was a really rough course, but I was glad to be able to drive for Matt and hand it off to Dustin. I think those guys will have a good time and bring it to La Paz.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
The driver's side tire flat already.
All right, buddy. You want me to try to cut you off at that one spot we found y'all at, or what?
Yes.
Yes, let's do that. Come on, B. Where you at?
Might not have made it yet. Yeah. Y'all watch out in front of the car. Give me a deep 19. Amigo.
Of the day. We didn't know if we was gonna beat him or not.
Making sure we're not gonna catch on fire.
I'm just now getting warmed up. We're coming in right now. We're coming in right now.
Dustin pushed all day. No issues with the car during the day, and he's slowly moving up, and we're like 11th, and then we're 10th, and he's pushing, and he goes in, you know, nighttime comes, and he says, man, the car feels great.
Come all the way down the 60-mile-an-hour zone, and when you get right back off of it on the dirt, we'll be here at the Mag 7 pit.
Got a little bit of play in the rack. It's not on it. Shake it.
Making it, that was brutal. The car's rattling and squeaking like I never heard. Not drifting yet. Hey, straighten it like down here.
I don't know, 3 to 5 pounds more than it should.
So the front rack is on its last leg. Good thing we only got 130 miles to go. I think it'll hold. Dustin will, check up on it a little bit. This last section of the course is smoother than what they just came through, so we'll just all pray that the parts hold. The rest of the car seemed good. Air filter change. Only issue was the front rack. So fuel the car, air filter, it's good to roll. That sounds like them almost. Yep.
And then gave it to Dustin and Mr. Mal, and they're here in one piece, and the car sounds great. You can hear it. Really not a single issue other than that. So same set of axles. We changed belts at the pits just out of precaution. Did a few air filters, and the car sounds real tight. So we're pretty happy.
Is it hard to let somebody else drive a car like that?
Nah, not these guys. These guys are good. I definitely trust these guys and trust Cain. I know they drive really well. So no, and getting a fresh driver in the car, I think, is the right move on a race like this. I think we got 8. I think we're 9th or 10th. So 9th or 10th, not too bad. We'll, for being down 5.5 hours, yeah, we'll take 9th or 10th.
Man, what an amazing experience. To be a part of the Baja 1000 is insane, but to beat the odds that we did to have the trouble we had early on and to finish the 1,000 this year, it's amazing. It's 50th anniversary, man. It's the biggest one ever. And so we had a really tough start, man. Matt and them struggled early on with some really freak issues. Worked through the night, never gave up, and put the car back on the track, man, and brought it to us finally. So literally at one point we were the last car on course moving. And so we battled from dead last out of every competitor on the course, not just our class, all the way back to, it sounds like we got top 10 in class. And so we ended up chasing a bunch of people down, man, made up a bunch of ground. And I think we finished pretty good, so it was a tough day, tough night. But all things considered, man, you got to be happy.
In these woods, I'm free inside, and I don't wanna see life.